On June 23, 2001, Manny Pacquiao stepped into the electrified atmosphere of the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, for his first title fight on American soil. A career-defining moment that would etch his name into boxing history. The 22-year-old Filipino southpaw faced Lalo Ledwaba, the reigning IBF World Super Bantamweight champion, a South African fighter renowned for his technical prowess and considered one of the best pound-for-pound boxers of the era. Ledwaba, with a record boasting 3 knockouts and only 2 losses, was coming off a commanding unanimous decision victory over Carlos Contreras and a TKO win against Arnel Baratillo. As the clear favorite, he was expected to defend his title with ease on the undercard of the high-profile Oscar de la Hoya versus Javier Castillejo bout. Pacquiao, however, was a relatively unknown contender in the U.S., riding a 6-fight winning streak, his most recent being a knockout victory over Foy John Puet. Interestingly, Pacquiao wasn't even supposed to be in this fight. Ledwaba's original opponent, Enrique Sanchez, had withdrawn due to an injury sustained during training camp, giving Pacquiao the opportunity to step in as a last-minute replacement. In the dressing room before the fight, tension hung heavy in Pacquiao's corner. His team, acutely aware of Ledwaba's reputation as a seasoned champion with a formidable skill set, was visibly anxious. Pacquiao, however, exuded an unshakable confidence that contrasted sharply with the somber mood. He reassured his team, declaring with quiet conviction, "I will be the new champion tonight." His words carried the weight of a fighter who knew his moment had arrived, despite being the underdog in a foreign land, far from his home in the Philippines. As the opening bell rang for the first round, Ledwaba took immediate control of the ring's center, moving with the poise of a veteran. His footwork was crisp, and he landed a few early jabs to Pacquiao's head, testing the Filipino's defenses and asserting his dominance. Pacquiao, with his unconventional southpaw stance and relentless energy, responded by circling and firing sharp jabs to Ledwaba's face, using them to measure distance and disrupt the champion's rhythm. The two fighters engaged in a cautious dance, feeling each other out in the center of the ring. Ledwaba landed a series of quick countershots, relying on his agile footwork to slip out of range and avoid significant damage. Pacquiao, undeterred, began to read Ledwaba's movements, noticing his tendency to duck and weave to evade punches. With a minute and a half left in the round, Pacquiao's aggression surged. He unleashed a barrage of powerful hooks and combinations, targeting Ledwaba's head and body with ferocious intent. Ledwaba, caught off guard by the sudden intensity, was forced to retreat, his quick feet barely keeping him out of harm's way. Pacquiao's relentless pressure forced Ledwaba to circle the ring, with the Filipino chasing him down, his fists a blur of motion. Ledwaba managed to land a few solid body shots, momentarily slowing Pacquiao's onslaught, but the Filipino's durability shone through. In the final minute, the two traded blows in a heated exchange at the center of the ring, both showing early signs of fatigue. Pacquiao, however, rallied with a series of punishing body shot combinations that left Ledwaba doubled over, his face betraying the impact. As the round ended, Pacquiao's harder shots had clearly given him the edge, while Ledwaba's corner scrambled to address the swelling around his nose and face, a testament to Pacquiao's early dominance. The second round began with Pacquiao emerging from his corner with renewed vigor, his eyes locked on Ledwaba. Within the first 10 seconds, he landed a vicious right hook to the side of Ledwaba's head, followed by another stinging blow that rocked the champion. Ledwaba, struggling to regain his footing, answered with a left of his own, but his punches lacked the snap of the first round. During a heated exchange, the fighters became entangled, and Ledwaba hit the canvas, in what was ruled a slip rather than a knockdown. Pacquiao, undeterred, continued his relentless pursuit, chasing Ledwaba around the ring as the champion tried to evade the onslaught. Halfway through the round, Ledwaba managed to land a clean shot to Pacquiao's head, but his failure to follow up allowed Pacquiao to regain control. Pacquiao's precise jabs and powerful lefts battered Ledwaba, who was visibly struggling to keep up with the Filipino's frenetic pace. By the end of the round, Pacquiao's corner remained calm and focused, while Ledwaba's team worked frantically to manage the damage to his face, particularly his battered nose. As the third round began, Pacquiao's confidence was palpable. He opened with a rapid-fire sequence of 3 jabs, each landing with pinpoint accuracy, part of the 43 out of 86 power shots he would land throughout the fight. Recognizing the jab as his most effective weapon against Ledwaba's defensive style, Pacquiao used it to dictate the pace, keeping the champion on the back foot. Ledwaba, growing increasingly desperate, swung wildly in an attempt to land anything significant, but his punches missed their mark, leaving him vulnerable. Pacquiao capitalized on Ledwaba's tendency to duck, targeting his body with a devastating uppercut that further damaged the champion's nose. Ledwaba's energy was visibly draining, and his corner could see the toll Pacquiao's relentless assault was taking. In the final 6 seconds of the round, Ledwaba landed a sharp punch that snapped Pacquiao's head back, but it was a fleeting moment in an otherwise one-sided round dominated by Pacquiao's precision and power. The fourth round saw Ledwaba come out with a renewed sense of urgency, landing a solid body shot that briefly tested Pacquiao's resilience. However, Pacquiao quickly turned the tide, backing Ledwaba into the ropes with a barrage of jabs that left the champion with little room to maneuver. The two fighters stood toe-to-toe in the center, trading blows in a display of raw intensity. Pacquiao's combinations, alternating between high shots to the head and low blows to the body, overwhelmed Ledwaba's defenses, with the champion's nose taking further punishment. Ledwaba managed to land a few counters, snapping Pacquiao's head back with a well-timed jab, but Pacquiao's relentless assault continued. Toward the end of the round, Pacquiao nearly knocked Ledwaba down with a powerful combination, though he appeared to conserve some energy, anticipating a longer fight. In Ledwaba's corner, his team worked feverishly to manage the damage, while Pacquiao's corner remained composed, their fighter showing minimal wear. The fifth round saw Ledwaba attempt to shift the momentum, pressuring Pacquiao with a low body shot that landed solidly. Pacquiao, however, responded with a slight uppercut to Ledwaba's head, followed by a series of precise right jabs that kept the champion at bay. Ledwaba, showing signs of newfound energy, tried to counter with body shots, but his punches lacked the power to slow Pacquiao's advance. Pacquiao's left hand continued to do significant damage, particularly to Ledwaba's face, which was now visibly swollen. As the round progressed, Ledwaba seemed to catch onto Pacquiao's combination patterns, landing a few counters, but he struggled to maintain distance as he had earlier. In the final seconds, Pacquiao unleashed a flurry of punches, a near Hail Mary effort that left Ledwaba reeling. Both fighters showed signs of fatigue, but Pacquiao's superior stamina and precision kept him firmly in control. As the sixth round began, Ledwaba, visibly exhausted, did everything he could to keep his distance, his body barely holding up under the punishment. Pacquiao, sensing his moment, closed the gap with a thunderous left that dropped Ledwaba to the canvas. The champion struggled to his feet during the count, his movements sluggish and his face a mask of fatigue. Pacquiao, relentless in his pursuit, pressed his advantage and landed another brutal combination that sent Ledwaba down again. Unable to recover, Ledwaba succumbed to a TKO, handing Pacquiao a stunning victory that reverberated through the boxing world. As Pacquiao celebrated with his corner, the crowd roaring in approval, Ledwaba remained on the canvas, arms outstretched, a symbol of the Filipinos' overwhelming power and precision. This sixth-round knockout marked Pacquiao's first title win in America, a triumph that propelled him from obscurity to the cusp of international stardom. Despite the defeat, Ledwaba showed respect, acknowledging Pacquiao's skill and heart in the ring. The victory solidified Pacquiao's place among boxing's elite, positioning him to challenge the likes of Agapito Sanchez in his next fight, and establishing him as a force to be reckoned with in the sport. His relentless pressure, precise jabs, and devastating combinations had dismantled a champion, proving that Pacquiao was not just a contender, but a future legend. Who do you think was Manny Pacquiao's most iconic opponent? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Goodbye.